There are 4 ways to mount corals to rock or frag discs and plugs, but the method I'm going to teach you is by far the best option. The right gear is absolutely critical to success here. Let's start out with the most important gear, frag discs and frag plugs. Ocean's Wonders sells 2 overarching types. A hard, fired ceramic on one hand, and natural aragonite on the other. While there is a time and place for ceramic frag discs and plugs, for home use, I exclusively use aragonite. Why? Because they're really easy to break. So when it comes time to mount my coral onto my aquascape, I can easily chip away at the corners so I don't have to stare at a big frag disc or frag plug in my aquarium. Of course, there are other good brands out there, but I really like Ocean's Wonders, so I picked up a couple of every type available just so I had a really good selection. It can be a really big pain in the butt to organize all of your frag discs and frag plugs. But my buddy Darren at Rogue Aquariums gave me an absolutely genius idea. He told me he was walking through Home Depot the other day when he saw this and he said, "Oh my goodness, this is perfect for frag discs and plugs." The Craftsman Versa Stack Organizer. So for a whopping $27, split out. I mean, look at it. Every single one of my frag discs and plugs fits perfectly inside, and when it's time to start mounting corals, it's so easy to choose the right size and shape that I need. I use this OXO cutting board to do all of my frag work, and I really like it for 2 reasons. One, because it has rubber feet, which means it won't move around, and secondly, it has a built-in moat to the top so that all of that salt water won't end up on my desk. For epoxy, you're gonna need the Tunza Coral Gum, Two Little Fishies Aquastic, Ocean Wonders Coraline Purple, and Seachem's Coral Crete just won't work as well for this purpose today. If you don't have a pair of large tweezers, this is a great time to pick it up because sometimes you get coral frags that are just too small for your finger and the tweezers are super helpful. You can really pick up any type of extra thick super glue gel, and I always recommend using gloves so you don't get super glue all over your fingers or do what I did once and actually stick my fingers together. It was crazy embarrassing. Moving on to the methodology. First off, if you are using the aragonite discs and plugs like I am, it is best practice to cure them and to cycle them before use. This will definitely help with coral growth. I don't usually do it. That's actually not true. I've actually never done it, but that's just because I'm kind of lazy. Start by looking at your frags and choosing the appropriate selection of discs and plugs and place them in a bucket with tank water and allow them to soak for a while. Next, we're going to prepare our workstation, lay everything out so it's easy to access, and definitely grab some extra paper towels for the inevitable spills and super glue that's going to end up in places that you don't want it to be. You are going to have 3 saltwater containers in front of you. The first one is going to hold the frag discs and plugs. The second one will hold your coral frags. And the last one is where you will put your newly mounted frags. For all 3 of these buckets, be sure to use the same tank water that you plan on putting these corals into at the end of the day. Now comes the easy part, and it goes like this. Disc, glue, epoxy, glue, frag. That's the entire process. This method is the best I have ever used. The coral frag holds instantly, unlike using just super glue or epoxy by itself. I mean, just watch this. This is me attempting to use super glue alone. It's such a pain, it holds terribly, and it makes a huge mess. And using just epoxy doesn't seem to work any better because the epoxy by itself won't really stick to the frag disc or plug, nor will it stick to the coral frag. Using the Tunza Coral Gum is so much better than using the other type of epoxies because you can select super small amounts, it mixes together easily, and it's super pliable. So here we go, step by step. Step 1, place a small amount of super glue onto the frag disc or plug. You don't need to go overboard here as a small bead does the job just fine. Step 2, take small but equal amounts of parts 1 and 2 of the Tunza Coral Gum. Step 3, mix the epoxy in your fingers for 20 to 30 seconds until it's combined well. Step 4, roll the epoxy into a ball and place directly on top of the super glue on the frag disc or plug. Step number 5, place a small bead of super glue on top of the epoxy. And the sixth and final step, using either your fingers or those long tweezers, place the coral frag onto the super glue and press into the epoxy and you are finished. That's it. That's legitimately all you have to do to secure your coral frag onto a disc. But Matthew, what if I want to skip the frag disc and put it directly onto the aquascape itself? Well, do the exact same thing, except just don't use the frag disc or plug. What about soft corals, plating corals, or maybe some oddly shaped corals where this method just wouldn't make sense? Click here and Ryan will teach you how to mount these corals as well. And as always, everyone, thanks for watching. Happy reefing, be well. We'll see you next time.